So I'm currently sitting in an absolute disaster. It's like a tornado just whipped around my room and had zero remorse, and I'm just sitting in the middle of it. I don't know if pausing my spring cleaning to record this episode is a good or bad thing. Am I avoiding the absolute mess in front of me right now in order to just talk to you guys? Or is recording this episode gonna kind of clear my mind? Because when I start organizing and when I start cleaning, I tend to pull everything out and then get so locked up where I'm just like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, I just have this mess. I have, like, not that I have trouble parting with things, but specifically, like, let's say makeup items. I'm like, oh, well, I have 3 mascaras, but there's a reason for each one. And this one is like 3 months old, but I use it after my third swipe of my first one every morning. You know what I mean? And it's just like ridiculous. And I end up just wanting to own nothing. So I realize that that is a awesome problem to have. But that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you guys today. It's spring. All right. It's officially spring. It's starting to warm up a little bit. You feel it in the air. Like, it's amazing. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome time of year. But I want to make sure that we're all catching our organization, and not just from a physical space level, but just completely. Like, this is a shift. We just came out of like 6 months of winter, and we're going into a completely new season that's ultimately going to become summer. And so it's time to take a step back. And it's completely early enough. We're only in March to get on with this and kind of make some changes, declutter, just the whole thing. So today I have the ultimate roadmap to spring cleaning your life. So this is not just your physical space. This is everything. This is mental, emotional, and physical, digital, spiritual. All right. There isn't a category in our life that is not going to come out refreshed, renewed, recharged, and just sifted through, decluttered, out with the old. Not necessarily out with the old just so that we can bring another pile of physical, emotional, mental, spiritual stuff back in, but more so like out with the old, and then, all right, let's sit in that space for a second and figure out what direction we want to go in now. What do we want to do with the space that we just created? So I've made this roadmap short and sweet. There's 5 steps. And if you know anything about me, you know that I can very easily get overwhelmed if I have too many options, too many choices in front of me, and I'll just get locked up and not do anything. So it was really important to me to create this not only for myself, but also for you, to be very easily digestible and to be able to implement into the life that you're already living. Because let's be real, just because it's spring and everyone's spring cleaning doesn't mean that life stops. You still have all of your other responsibilities. So yeah, if you can find a full day here or there in order to do this, that would be great. But ultimately, this does not all have to be done at once. It can be a step-by-step process. I am so excited to be talking about spring and spring cleaning, and just the fact that there have been a few days where I can step outside without a jacket on and feel the warmth of the sun and just know that summer is coming. I am such a summer baby, and I'm sure you are too. It is just such a beautiful time, especially if you live in a place where winter is very, very cold, snowy, and then it turns to summer. It's like everything is alive again. It's amazing. And I'm also excited to be here talking about this today because if I'm going to be real, I have been struggling really bad with, I don't want to say figuring out what to talk about for my episodes, but more so, I've been struggling with my perfectionistic nature. Like, I'll get one idea that sparks me, and then as I think about it, I will convince myself out of talking about it because I'll be like, no, that's not engaging enough. That's not fun enough. That's not inspiring enough. Like, I have all of these excuses, and then I end up at ground zero. And I am last minute with this episode. I'm recording a few days before it's due, which means I didn't give myself much time. I'll have to record and edit and do all of that behind the scenes in a shorter time frame than I would like to give myself. However, I'm very excited that this sort of idea came to me, and I am so into it right now. I actually am practicing what I'm preaching. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I am sitting in the tornado right now. Everything is around me scattered. I have made some progress, but I do have a long way to go. So let's get into the roadmap. I know you're going to love this, and it's still early enough to get this all done and sorted through before spring really kicks in. If you're able to, this is definitely one of those episodes that you should take out your notes app on your phone, pull out a blank piece of paper, whip out a notebook. You want to write these down because I'm telling you, these are literally going to change your life. You are going to have the best spring. You're going to completely detox from the winter time, and you're going to be putting your best foot forward. So if you can't right now, no worries. If you're driving or working or doing something else while you're listening to this, keep listening. Think about it all, let it soak in, and then give it a re-listen so that you can jot down these bullet points as well. So step one, and this is the most obvious step and the one that everyone talks about. So it's what you think of when you hear spring cleaning, and that is your physical space detox. A cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. It's plain and simple. If you start with your surroundings, you can create a fresh foundation for the rest of the 4 steps. So obviously, when you hear spring cleaning or you see something online or in a magazine, it's a picture of like a yellow glove and this woman like scrubbing a dish with the window open and the fresh air coming in and everything's clean, physically clean. What the media typically does not get into is that is just step 1. It's a very important foundational step, and we're going to get a little bit more into it right now. However, I want you to know very clearly, I want you to hear me, that is just step 1. It does not end with wiping the window down. Okay? Okay. So what you want to focus on in your physical space detox is out with the old. Out, out, out. Goodbye, gone. I'm talking expired food, beauty products, anything that is no longer useful. Maybe you got a lotion for your dry skin back in November, and come to find out it just made your skin sticky and you actually haven't been using it since November. Time to throw that away, okay? It's all done. You don't need it to sit there staring at you, reminding you about the money that you wasted on it because you're ultimately never going to use it. You just need to get rid of it. Anything that you can donate, donate. And that honestly always makes me feel so much better about getting rid of things because I know that they're going to benefit someone else. And if I'm going to be real with you all, this is so not easy. This is actually partly what I'm in the middle of right now, and specifically with the beauty products, the hair products. And I am not a messy person. I'm not a disorganized person. I am constantly doing almost like an audit of all of my products and basically doing this once a month. It's not like on my calendar, like, oh, once a month, go through all of your things, but I kind of naturally do it. And I still am in a disaster because I have samples from Ulta of really nice beauty products that I just need to use up, and they've just been hanging around and I haven't been using them up. So something that I'm doing is pulling like all the samples out, and it's really only 3 or 4, but for the next 4 days, I'm going to use one every day. And I don't know necessarily how healthy that is for the skin because you probably shouldn't be switching up products, once every 4 days. But in order to feel like I'm not being wasteful, I'm just going to do it. So, yeah. You can take this out with the old as far as you want. And that's really up to you. That's up to what you can handle. Ultimately, just because it's spring does not mean that you need to completely rearrange your house, rearrange your bedroom, throw away all your clothes, fill the holes in the wall. Like, you know what I mean? That's not necessarily what that means. It's to the extent that is going to make you feel refreshed. So maybe for you, that means cleaning out all of your old beauty products, but leaving your jewelry box as it is, even if it's a little messy on the inside. And there are probably 10 sets of earrings that were from 10th grade that they don't even look good anymore. They were once gold or fake gold, but they're not. They look silver now. Maybe you don't take on the task of going through that jewelry box. I bring that example up because I did decide to go through my jewelry box, and I'm in even more of a mess now because it just turns into this whole thing like, oh, this is clearly in here because it's sentimental, but I can't remember what it's from. Like, yeah, I probably wore this when I was 10 years old, but I can't there's no memory attached to it. And then does it belong in my jewelry box? Because I think that everything in your immediate space should be very functional. So a jewelry box should be for all of the jewelry that I rotate through frequently. Should a bracelet, an Alex Anani bracelet, be in there from 10 years ago? Should that go in a sentimental box? I don't know, okay? I fear I am going on a little tirade about my own organization issues, but honestly, I really hope that this just brings light to the fact that this does not have to be perfect, because I think what's hard is that when we see the concept of spring cleaning and organization in general in the media, on a magazine, it's very romanticized, and at the end of the day, the reality is that this is hard. It's really hard. You're going through emotional baggage as you're going through things. You have to make so many decisions on top of the normal decisions that you're already making in a day on whether to keep something, whether to sell it, whether to throw it away, or is this something you can donate? Like, it's a lot of work. So I just want to validate the fact that it's not easy and it's okay. You know, I really need to validate myself, too, that it's okay that I'm sitting here in a mess and I'm feeling overwhelmed. Because obviously I'm feeling overwhelmed, okay? So just give yourself some grace with that. Now, once you get all of the junk out that we just talked about, expired foods, expired makeup products, just literal trash, like, once that's all gone, next I want you to do a joy audit. I absolutely love this. So what you're going to do is look around your space, whether you're in your bedroom or your kitchen or your living room, wherever. And you're going to kind of allow yourself to gaze on different items. So like right now I'm looking at my desk and I have a candle warmer on my desk with a strawberry candle in that candle warmer. That candle and that candle warmer brings me so much joy. I absolutely love the smell of the strawberry candle. I bring it out every spring, summer, and I love the candle warmer because something about it makes the candles last so much longer instead of just burning through them. It feels just a little bit safer than having an open flame because I do have a cat who likes to knock anything and everything off any surface. And it's just so functional. It's a part of my everyday life. I love it. The smell brings me joy. It's amazing. So that's something that I would know, like, I'm not going to get rid of that. Why would I do that? It brings me joy. But then you're going to come across things that just simply do not bring you joy. And doing this type of audit is going to be so eye-opening to be like, why do I have this stuff that not only doesn't bring me joy, but also brings on negative memories from the past, or just doesn't light anything up inside of you at all. I'm looking here and I have 2 eye masks, like what you would put over your eyes to block out light when you sleep, hanging in 2 separate pouches next to my bed. They are both the same brand. They're 2 different colors. One is white and one is this like pale pink. Now, neither of these really bring me exceptional joy because let me explain. So the white one is older than the pink one, and I made a mistake with the white one. They're both silk, and with the white one, I ended up washing it the wrong way, and it didn't destroy it, but it's just not as soft as it used to be anymore. I learned my lesson when I got the pink one. I didn't wash it the wrong way, so it's still super soft. I like the white color better than I like the pink color. So therefore, I have two items that I rarely touch either of them, but when I do touch one, I touch the pink one because anytime that I'm actually using it, it's to go to sleep, and I'm not making a fashion statement when I go to sleep. However, the pink color during the day frustrates me because I just like the white better. Like, do you see what I'm saying? So what do I do in that situation? Like, really, I need to get rid of one of them and I need to decide what is more important. The texture of the eye mask on my face or the color that I'm looking at as it hangs next to my bed in my room. And that is not a decision that I think I can make in this moment, but I will. And that's kind of just one example of something that doesn't bring me joy, so I need to make a decision about it. Another example would be like a t-shirt. Let's say it was the t-shirt you were wearing when your ex broke up with you. And it's a nice t-shirt, but every time you look in your closet, you kind of, skip past it and avoid it. And it's really probably been 6 months since you've ever actually worn it. And every time you wear it, it's just reminding you of that heartache and the annoyances that came with that relationship and how sad that day was when you two broke up. And just get rid of the shirt. Just get rid of it. I don't care if you spent $80 on it 5 years ago. Like, it's time. It's time. Because this is energetically and emotionally and mentally draining you and physically taking up space. And you need to make space to bring in the new you. So once you've tossed out the old stuff, simply expired, trash, junk, and then done your joy audit, the last piece with the physical detox is that you're going to actually clean. I want you to open up windows. I want you to let in fresh air. I want you to physically clean what's left. Everything that's left, you have now decided that you want to remain in your life. You want all of these items to be sitting on your desk, sitting on your bookshelf, in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your bathroom. These items you have chosen to wake up every day and see in your space because they either inspire you or they have a functional purpose or they evoke a pleasant memory. And now you're going to clean all of that because honestly, after you've done the first two, you've probably made a mess. I know myself. I am sitting in not only clutter and disaster, but also just dust and cat hair and it's time to clean all of that. Go get yourself, use what you have at home, but if you have the ability to, go out and get a cute little cleaner that smells so good. Usually this time of year at all the stores, they have many spring-related scents, tulips, get something that smells awesome and you're going to be so excited to clean. Even if you aren't normally into cleaning, I personally love to clean. It's so therapeutic, but even if you're not, just a cute little scent is really going to elevate that experience and you can romanticize it. So please put your hair up, put in a hair mask if you want, so you're kind of doing two things at once, open up a window, and then put on a playlist. You can even just type into anywhere, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you're listening to your music, spring cleaning playlist. Spring playlist. I personally use Spotify, and so I know that they'll have, there's playlists that will come up that other people have made, and then there's playlists that Spotify has made, but then there's also playlists that they take from your listening history. They curate all of the quote-unquote spring-styled music out of the type of music that you're listening to, so it kind of matches it to your listening style. And you can choose any of those and just put that on and just start cleaning and do your thing. And when I tell you that you are going to feel so on top of the world after that, like, I mean it. It is absolutely crazy. And I am so excited to experience that today because, I'm sitting in a mess, but I know that I will be able to kind of declutter everything, do my joy audit, and then get out the tulip scented cleaner because I know everything is just going to smell so fresh and look fresh, and it's going to completely reset my space. Oh, and one more tip. As you're going through all of your things, try your best not to get sidetracked as much as possible because it's very easy that when we're pulling the boxes out from under our bed or the deep abyss of our closet that we're going to find something that we haven't looked at in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and all of a sudden it's going to be like, wow. And then you find yourself in this rabbit hole where you're reading your diary from when you were 13 and you have like a scarf wrapped around your neck from when you were 15, and somehow you're crying because you're thinking about your younger self and like, wow, I didn't know that I was, going through so much and like writing all this in my diary when I was 13. You see what I'm saying? Like, it can easily get so overwhelming. So as you're going through things, you're going to see stuff that is going to make you want to look further. And if you have the time, please, by all means. But I just know myself that I'm very busy. Like, I only have so much time to get done what I need to get done. I realize and I recognize that the spring detox is very important and I want to do it in my life. So that means that I'm going to go through everything, just like we just mentioned. But if I see a pile of old diaries or something, I'm going to find a place for them to maybe revisit. If I want to read through those, maybe I'm going to put them in a box and put them in the basement. And then one day, soon, in my nice, clean, refreshed room, I can bring up that box and then read those diaries in peace. This actually has not happened to me this spring clean yet. I used to have literally a box of all my old diaries in my closet, so that's why I bring this up. And every time I would clean, I would find it and I just read through every entry of every single one. I don't know what it was about it. And then I would emotionally be like put back into that state, like your 13, 14, 15-year-old self angst, and then it would like bring all of the emotions back, and all of a sudden it's 10 p.m. and I still am sitting in a disaster, and it just makes me feel worse. So the point of this is to make you feel better. It's not necessarily going to be easy. However, just, yourself. Like, I know you're not stupid. You know yourself, and just do what you have to do to make your space feel detoxed and clean. Moving on to step 2, this is your mental detox, okay? You're sitting in your clean room now, your apartment's clean, your house is clean, it's all good. We already did that, we accomplished that in step 1. Now we're gonna deal with the mental piece. Unfinished thoughts take up mental bandwidth. There's only so much that you can think of in a day. There's only so much space that we have for all of these unfinished thoughts, unfinished emotions, and clearing that up just makes space for focus and creativity. So if you've been feeling stagnant and stuck and just in the cycle of the same thing every day, and it's just like, ugh, you have no spark of creativity. Like, I have been there the past couple of weeks. I don't know what it has been, but I have just been feeling like, ugh, like no creativity, no desire. And obviously there are many things that can lead to that, but ultimately taking the time to do a mental detox as a part of your spring cleaning your life is going to make a huge difference. So the first thing that I want you to do is a brain dump. I know, you've heard this before. Brain dump this, brain dump that. But you're going to have to do it, okay? Trust me on this one. And we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. So you're going to take out a piece of paper and you're going to set a timer for 10 minutes, okay? And in that 10 minutes, you're going to do as one does during a brain dump. You're going to write down every single thing that pops into your mind. Unfinished thoughts, A to-do. So like for me, I haven't done a brain dump in a while, but I guess that would look like, oh, I need to do the dishes right now. I also need to take my vitamins. Oh my gosh, I have not called that doctor back. I would like to buy new pillows because mine are getting flat. Like, you know what I mean? Just write everything down. And I say set a timer because there is going to come to a point where you're just sitting there and you're like, what else do I put down? And so you don't want to waste too much time on this. If you are still cranking away at 10 minutes, give yourself another 5 minutes. That's fine. But if you're kind of struggling to think of anything else by 10 minutes, then you're done at this point. Then you're going to look at your brain dump and you're going to start to pick things out into two categories: quick and takes more time. So, quick stuff would be stuff that you've been avoiding, but ultimately you could get it done so fast. Quick to me would be like taking out the garbage, filling my cat's dish with more food because it's getting borderline empty, and replying to my friend's text message about wanting to make plans. Whether I even commit to the plans or not, just replying to it and figuring out what I'm going to say. Because those are things that are theoretically, there are not many steps with that, but they can pile up so quickly and then just take up so much mental space. Now, for all of the other items that are going to take you more time, I want you to schedule on your calendar. Block out some time to start tackling those tasks. So, like for me, something like that would look like figure out the Verizon student discount. So, little story time. I keep getting this text message from Verizon, which is where I get my service on my phone, and they keep saying you could save $10 a month by receiving the student discount. Like, sign up to see if you're eligible, and I would be eligible because I'm a student. And so when I click on it, it will not let me sign into my account. It's not a matter of an incorrect password. I actually know what the problem is. I used to have two phone numbers, one for my real estate business and one for my personal phone number. I've since then just switched to having one phone number because it made the most sense for me. And my Verizon account was specifically attached to the real estate number. And since canceling that number, I didn't correct my online account to be associated with my personal phone number. And in order to do that, you have to go through customer service, which, as you know, is a long loop of phone calls and robots, and then customer service people who don't know the solution, so then they send you to someone else, but you're on hold for 5 hours. It sounds like a quick and easy call, but it's ultimately not. So for me, I need to schedule this on my calendar. It's been on my to-do list, but I need to literally block out an hour, and hopefully it doesn't take an hour, but if it does, I blocked out that time to sit down and get it done. Because mentally, it is weighing on me in the sense of like, I would like to save $120 a year if I can. Like, that's a no-brainer. Why would I just let that slip up just because I was lazy and didn't want to go after that discount that they're offering? You know what I mean? So that would be something that I would schedule. You know for yourself what you can schedule and what you can quickly get done, but you have to distinguish that and separate those out. So the last thing that you're going to do for the mental detox is your second quarter focus. Believe it or not, we are already moving into the second quarter of this year. January through March is the first quarter. April through June is the second quarter. So now that you've done your brain dump, you've done your priority reset, you've shed a few things that just are not aligned with your new focuses now that we're 3 months into the year. Now you're going to get locked in on your goals for the second quarter of the year. Those things that you've decided, whether they're new or continued from before, these are the things that you've decided you want to put energy into and really lock in on for the next 3 months. Now, in order to figure out exactly what these tasks, projects, items are that you're going to lock in on, I want you to do a little visualization. So if you are able to right now, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that it is a beautiful Saturday at the end of June. It's almost the 4th of July weekend. It's hot out, it's summer, it's like 3 p.m., but it feels like you have the whole rest of the day because the sun doesn't even set until 8:39 at this point. You have a nice little drink in your hand, whether that's alcoholic or not, and you're just relaxed. What in that moment do you want to feel accomplished with knowing that you got it done? Is it a house project? Is it telling someone how you really feel? Is it knowing that for the past 3 months you have prioritized your health and your physical fitness at least twice a week? Is it knowing that regardless of whether you have a new job or not, you have been putting in the effort to apply to jobs every single day for the past 3 months? Like, whatever it is for you, just visualize yourself in that moment. What do you want to have off your plate? Now, don't get me wrong, things are obviously going to keep popping up. That is just life. However, we have an opportunity to set milestones and set markers. And if there's one or two things that would just add to how awesome you feel on this late June day, knowing that you accomplished it, why not go after that? So that's going to be your second quarter focus. It's really important to do in order to reframe what you're focusing on, and it's ultimately the last piece of the mental detox. You did your brain dump, you shed away the tasks that you no longer need in your life, and now you're refocusing, you're relocking in. Moving on to step 3. This is going to be our emotional detox. Now, there is a difference between emotional and mental. Emotional is more tied to our energy levels and the drains in our energy that we may feel. And this often comes from relationships and old narratives that we have not released yet. And these are usually just running in the background in our subconscious on autopilot. And unless we take the initiative and do the work to actually look at them and figure out what they are, they ultimately can rule our lives and dictate a lot of the decisions that we make and the things that we allow in our lives. And so that is why it's really, really important, especially in this new season and all of these detoxes that we're doing, to take a look at the emotional state. So the first thing that I want you to do here is your people energy inventory. You're going to write down the 5 people that you spend the most time with and ask yourself, do they drain or energize you? And then adjust accordingly. This is a lot harder than it may sound initially, because usually the people that we spend the most time with are very embedded in our lives. It may be a parent, it may be a sibling, it may be a significant other, it may be a close friend that you've had for 15 years. And if all of those relationships are uplifting and energizing you, that is awesome and that is beautiful. However, it is very likely that you have at least one person on that list that drains you. And it may not be all the time, but if there is a significant drain in your energy, that needs to be addressed. And I am not a psychologist, so I cannot sit here and tell you exactly how to do that. But what I do know is that you cannot change people. So it's ultimately up to you to decide how to handle the situation. And this would possibly be a whole episode in its own. But what I suggest is to just become conscious of that list, because completely cutting people out of your life, ending a relationship, getting a divorce, like, that is the end game. That doesn't necessarily have to be the first step. There are many different routes and avenues that you can take, and only you understand your relationships and the 5 people closest to you in your life as best. You understand that better than anyone else. And so you deep down know what needs to be done. But what I'm here to tell you is that the energy that is being drained from you is significant. If that is the case in your life, it is significant. And some of these weights that you feel and mental blocks and just, like just feeling stuck in your life has to do with the energy that you're giving to other people who are just taking it and draining you of it like a battery, like a gas tank on E. We have a limited amount of energy that we can give every day, every week, every month. And if that is just completely being wasted on negativity and arguments and unneeded energy drains, then you definitely need to take a look at that. And the first step is just recognizing it. I'm not asking you to completely change your life and remove everyone and just ghost everyone and move across the world and never talk to anyone again and only talk to people who completely energize you every living, breathing second. Like, that's not what I'm saying. However, just take a look. Just write down the 5 people and think about that. And think about how much energy is being drained and how much is being energized by these 5 people. So that's the external piece of the emotional detox. The second thing that I want you to do is the internal piece, and that is what I'm giving you. It's almost like homework, the emotional spring cleaning question. And here it is. What belief about yourself are you ready to release? I want you to ask yourself this. What belief about myself am I ready to release? And this is not necessarily going to come to you right away. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, just keep asking yourself once a day. Become more intuitive and notice different things in your lives or actions that you take that you don't like, and then start asking yourself why. Like, why did I say that? Oh, well, it ties to this and it ties to that. I was thinking a lot about this, and I actually have a belief about myself that I didn't even realize I had until I started thinking about it. And that is that I am less than because I struggle and have struggled in the past with acne. And this kind of came to me when I was thinking about this question, and I was like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, what? And then I was thinking about it more, and I was like, wait, that's so true. Because, like, I struggle with acne. It's nothing crazy, I mean, as does almost everyone, but it has definitely a negative impact on, confidence and self-image and stuff like that. But I was thinking, why? I started digging deeper into the question, like, where did this start? And I was able to pinpoint when I was younger and, like turning into a teenager and all the hormones and started getting acne. There was someone very close in my life who would make comments about how, like, oh, we need to get you makeup to cover that up. Like, oh, you'll be beautiful when you get makeup on. Oh, you'll be beautiful when you go to the dermatologist and get on birth control at whatever age, and then, like, your acne goes away. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that really messed with me as a kid and now into adulthood. And it's just crazy doing this exercise that it even brought that up. Just this simple question and thinking about it unlocked so much more. And I have already had, like, I do not have all the answers. I do not completely feel in love and confident with myself when I am still struggling with acne for that reason specifically. However, this is opening so much more and already giving me a sense of peace and realizing that it's not all my fault. Like, I'm not just being hard on myself and negative and mean to myself just because. Like, this started somewhere else. Someone very close to me gave me that idea. And as a 12, 13-year-old, I grabbed onto that and just ran with it because we don't know what's going on when we're 12 and 13. Like, we trust the people in our lives and our family that who we love, and we're just like, oh, and that combined with being in school and all the drama in school and everyone's growing up and like no one knows what's going on. You know what I mean? And so obviously it makes sense that that would have been embedded into my subconscious. So already I'm starting to feel like better in the sense of not being so hard on myself about being hard on myself, if that makes sense. So I want you to try that as well. What belief about yourself are you ready to release? And there may be things that come up that you aren't ready to release. Like you're going to know when you're ready, when you're not ready. Some things are so deep and ingrained in us that it is going to take a lot of work and trial and error in order to do that. But some things may be more surface level, or you may have come to a point in your life where you're like, I am so ready to release this. Like, I'm sick of feeling this way. I'm sick of believing this about myself. It's time. It's time. So once you have that thing, that belief about yourself, I want you to either journal about it or write it down on a piece of paper, just like one sentence. So for me, it would be, I am less than because I struggle with acne. And take that piece of paper and rip it up, light it on fire in a safe way, please. Do a symbolic action that demolishes it because it's symbolic of getting rid of that belief in your life. And the emotional energy that you're going to start getting back from these two practices, the external and the internal, the people in your life, and then the beliefs that you're holding about yourself that may not be positive, you're going to get so much energy back in order to rewire and put into better narratives in your life. Listen, you guys, in a world that spends most of their time on screens, I am all for a healthy escape. Whether that's just stepping away from the screens or getting lost in a good book for a while, we need that break. And if you're looking for that kind of escape, you have got to check out sarahcrownbooks.com. Some people are born storytellers, and let me tell you, Sarah Crown is one of them. From recording her first stories as a child to studying under top Hollywood story experts like John Truby, she has built a life around words, weaving thrilling narratives with depth and heart. With degrees in psychology, education, and law, Sarah brings a unique perspective to her writing, one that grips readers and just doesn't let go. Trust me, her stories are the perfect way to unplug and dive into something unforgettable. Her latest novel, All These Threads of Time, is the perfect blend of heart-pounding suspense and mind-bending time travel. Set in the 80s, when Sylvie Mitchell discovers that she can jump through time, she's determined to save her family from a serial killer. But the past fights back in ways that she would have never expected. If you love mysteries with a twist and time travel that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, this book is for you. And if you're looking for more than just stories, Sarah's Substack called A Busy Lady is your backstage pass to her writing journey. She takes you behind the scenes with inspiration, writing tips, and more. Whether you're a writer, a reader, or just someone looking to live a more creative life, A Busy Lady will give you the tools and motivation you need. Don't miss out on Sarah's thrilling books and creative wisdom. Check out sarahcrownbooks.com for more information on her books and Substack. That's sarahcrownebooks.com. In stories, we find ourselves. So, step 4 is your digital detox. Your online space affects your mental space way more than you realize. So this one is quick and easy. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to completely restructure our email inbox because that in itself is a project. So if that's something that you want to take on for the second quarter of the year, then set that down as a project. But the purpose of this is to do a quick detox, a quick audit in order to revamp your digital space. So the first thing that you're going to do is an inbox sprint. I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes, and in that 10 minutes, do nothing else but unsubscribe from everything irrelevant. The shoe company that you bought one pair of shoes from and then returned them 6 months ago that are now sending you emails 3 times a day. The guitar store that you've never even been to. You don't even know how they got your email, but somehow you keep getting emails from them. Like, all of that stuff that's irrelevant, unsubscribe from. If the 10 minutes are up and you haven't unsubscribed from everything that you wanted to, which you probably won't have because there is so much spam out there, still end it. This was only a 10-minute sprint. If you want to do another one tomorrow, go for it. And like I said, if this is something that's important to you, turn a project out of it, but it's not all going to get done in a day. The next thing you're going to do is a quick camera roll declutter. So I love to use this app called Swipe Wipe. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just genuinely enjoy the app. It basically goes through all of your camera roll, like you give it the permission to do that, and then you can go in and it categorizes it by month or year, and so you can tap on like February, for example, and go through all of your photos from February, but swipe through them. Like, so left to delete and right to keep, I think is what it is. And so it makes it so much quicker than being actually in the Photos app and click the trash can and then delete. And then, are you sure you want to delete? Yes, delete now. This is just swipe, 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 left, left, right, right. Like, you know what I mean? It's so quick and easy. Or you can, manually delete, but what you want to go through is all of that irrelevant stuff, old screenshots, duplicates, clutter, the stuff that you know you don't need anymore. The screenshot of the reservation that you had 2 months ago, you don't need that anymore. And you could have a very, very, very cluttered camera roll, or you could have a very decluttered camera roll. Again, you kind of just have to gauge what you need. If it would be valuable for you to turn this into a project, then please do that. But for the purpose of just resetting our lives, doing this ultimate spring cleaning our lives, just do 10 minutes for now. 10 minutes. 10, 10, 10. 10 minutes on the email, 10 minutes on the camera roll, and then finally 10 minutes on your social media recovery. Now, what this is going to be is you unfollowing anything that does not inspire, uplift, or align with your current self and the future self that you are trying to become. Any person who, they don't even post anything bad, but just seeing their post frustrates you because you didn't even like them in high school. Like, why are you following them? You know what I mean? All of that stuff, unfollow. Give yourself 10 minutes. And again, if you have way more work to do beyond 10 minutes, turn it into a project. But that is the very quick and easy digital detox. In a matter of 30 minutes, you're going to feel so good and on top of the world as far as your online space. And lastly, step 5, spiritual detox. So at this point, we have physically cleaned our space. We have mentally detoxed from thoughts that are taking up mental bandwidth. We have emotionally detoxed from the energy that is pulling us down. We have digitally detoxed from our online space that was not serving us. Now, the cherry on top is going to be your spiritual detox. We're going to clear energy and reconnect with the elements because it brings balance into our lives. First thing I want you to do is go online or go to a local store and get sage or Palo Santo. I believe that's how you say it, Palo Santo. I've actually never burned Palo Santo, but I have burned sage. And you're going to bring it home and burn the sage all throughout, the space that you cleaned. You yourself have mentally, emotionally, digitally cleaned. And you're going to set your intentions as you reset the vibe of your space. It's just going to feel so energetically and spiritually good, and you're just clearing out all the stagnant old from winter. Next, I want you to bring good energy in. This is going to look like sending a card, writing a letter, or calling someone that you love and connect well with. This is going to elevate the energy in your life and in your space. So if you know that you have that one friend that they just make you laugh, like no matter what, you can have a good conversation. Or maybe there's someone that you really want to uplift them, write them a letter, write them a card, and send it to them. Like, there are so many ways to do this that are going to leave you feeling good, because ultimately what you put out in the world comes back to you, and we want to be putting out good. And I kind of feel like a hypocrite saying that right now because I am human and I definitely have a tendency to not put out good when I'm caught off guard or in personal relationships, and I tend to dump my problems on other people, and don't we all, right? But I'm trying to do better, but ultimately this is a way that we can foster that good energy and channel that into our lives. And the third thing that I want you to do, which is really, really cool, and it's crazy how much this can actually reset and balance you, is reconnecting with the elements. So let me explain. Water, earth, fire, air. You are going to reconnect with all of those. Water, take an intentional shower or bath, visualizing the stress wash away. Not just your routine shower because you just got home from a long day of work and you need to shower and go to bed. No, this is to be in the water. If you have access to a pool or any body of water that you can swim in, that would be awesome too. It doesn't just have to be a shower, but shower is usually the most easily accessible option for water. Earth, I need you to walk barefoot outside to ground. This is going to ground you. There is so much research and different studies that are out there that you can look into about just the benefits of grounding. They even make grounding blankets that you can plug into your outlet in the wall, and it ultimately grounds to the ground. And it's been proven to help people, with pain and different things like that. And honestly, just walking barefoot in the grass, and I know it might be a little early for this because it's still a little chilly out and the grass hasn't really come in yet, depending on where you live, but it is just such a feeling of being a kid again. Just barefoot on the ground. Doesn't matter that your feet are getting dirt and grass all over them. Like, it just reconnects you to so many things that are true to who you are. The next one is fire, and for this one, you're going to want to light a candle and reflect on what you're releasing from step 3, which was your emotional detox. You can also have an actual fire if you have a fire pit and kind of just sit by it and meditate and reflect on this. But again, the most easily accessible option would be to light a candle. And for air, I want you to practice deep breath work, which is going to bring you clarity and renewal. Now, there is so much on the internet about breath work. Just being aware of the way you're breathing. Are you breathing from your chest or from your stomach? Like, there is so much to it. And just the fact that we're able to breathe in air and then release air out of our lungs, like, it's so cool. And if you think about it, we're doing this all day, every day, but we aren't necessarily connected to it. We're usually just doing it subconsciously. So I challenge you to try reconnecting with these elements and see how you feel afterwards. And those are the 5 steps to your ultimate roadmap to spring cleaning your life. Now, in order to maintain your fresh start, I encourage you to do a weekly reset where you just check in each week on all of these new changes that you've made. Maybe your space has gotten a little messy, do a quick little cleanup, and choose one small habit to maintain this new sense of clarity. So, for example, maybe buy flowers once a week and switch them out. Just the little things will keep you feeling inspired and reset and refreshed. Another quick tip would be just a daily check-in on what you're carrying that no longer serves me. So literally just ask yourself, write it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror so that you see it every day. What am I carrying that no longer serves me? And this is going to continue to question your current beliefs and your current state to make sure that you're staying aligned. Because ultimately, the 5 steps that we just went through is the beginning of the work. It's a hard reset. It's jumping into spring. But if you want to cultivate and maintain this sense of clarity, keep asking yourself every day, and you're going to start coming to more higher answers. And lastly, make sure you celebrate. Enjoy your refreshed space and your refreshed mind and spirit, because this is such an exciting time. We're moving out of winter. We are absolutely conquering the next quarter of the year, and we've got this. No matter what trials and triumphs that life throws our way, we are taking the time to consciously slow down, declutter, not just our physical space, but our mental, emotional, spiritual, digital as well. And I am so, so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for just putting on this episode and thinking about doing this, because that's the first step. All right, my time is up for ignoring my step 1. I have to get back into my physical organizing, and because I'm just excited, I'm so pumped up to get through all of the steps and truly enjoy each one. I need to get through this roadblock of step 1, and I will let you know how it goes. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to follow along, feel free to give it a follow. It is available on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, Amazon. I think I'm forgetting 1 or 2, but it's also on YouTube. And you can give it a follow on Instagram at The Lot of It Podcast. I cannot wait to talk to you next time. Have a beautiful rest of your week.